have tried to film this about 10 times, but I haven't made a YouTube video since I was about 12, so please bear with me. This is probably going to be not the best, but I wanted to make a video about my experience solo traveling because this is trauma, no, oh my god, can't put that in. I have been diagnosed with anxiety since I was like 12, and it got to a stage in my early mid-teens where I literally couldn't leave the house. And thinking back about that time when I couldn't even leave the house to go for a 5-minute walk, and then thinking about how I just got on a flight to another country and spent 2 weeks completely on my own without knowing the language, and I had a great time. Like, thinking about that makes me, I don't know, want to talk about it, to if it could help someone else, or if someone else is watching this and is thinking, and they're back where I was. I just want to show them that you can get to where I am now. I think the biggest thing that I learned is that you're so much more capable than you think you are. Because I was really concerned about how I was gonna be able to get around and feed myself and just like all these basic things. I was just so scared about doing that, and I didn't think I could do that for 2 weeks on my own. But when I did it, I was like, this is easy. Like, if I can do this, then what else can I do? And I think another big part of that was the airport, because the airport was the part that I was the most apprehensive about, and I ended up not booking my flights until 2 weeks before the trip because I was putting it off because I just didn't want to go. Obviously I had to go either way, but I was just putting it off because I did not want to go. But yeah, the airport was what I was most concerned about, but once I got through that, it was kind of like, I've done it now, I can do it again. And just going on that trip to Lisbon has now shown me that I can go anywhere. Like, if I wanted to, I could get on a flight and go somewhere else, and like, there's nothing like mentally that's holding me back from that. I can do that, and I've shown myself I can do that. So I think it just shows you how capable you are. The next thing is, I was gonna say, if you know me, then you will know, but nobody knows me because this is a secret YouTube account. That's classic me. But I have been living off of the phrase, do it scared. That phrase has carried me whenever I feel anxious or scared or uncomfortable, obviously within reason. I just like take a minute and I tell myself, do it scared, because usually once you acknowledge the feelings of fear, they tend, in my experience, they tend to kind of go. I really hate heights, and flights really scared me, especially takeoff. It just really scared me. So when we were going into takeoff, I put my favourite song on, and I just kind of accepted that this is the scary part, and I just kind of sat there and I breathed through it. And once that was done, I actually ended up crying during takeoff because I was just so overwhelmed with the fact that I was doing it. After it being such a concept and a plan, and then actually getting there, it didn't feel real. Do it scared is an excellent phrase to use. And I also think that gentle parenting yourself, I fucking love that shit. And some people will think it's cringe. Like, I always say, good job, Gracie. I don't know why, that's just what I say. No one calls me Gracie, but I always say, I like go like this and I say, good job, Gracie, or like, you've got this, or like just something like that, and it actually does really make me feel better, which is kind of strange, but it does work for me anyway. Doing things on your own is scary, and I think I've always kind of done things on my own. Particularly, I went through a breakup last year, and since then I have done a lot of things on my own, and it has been really healing actually to start enjoying my own company more. Like, I go to the cinema on my own. I love going to concerts on my own. I actually most of the time prefer going to concerts on my own than I do with other people. I go out for lunch on my own, stuff like that. One thing that was a bit scary, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, is going for dinner on your own, which I obviously had to do quite a bit because I was on my own. I ended up making some friends, and I did go out for dinner with them a couple times, but most of the time I was out for dinner on my own. And asking for a table for one can be quite intimidating. When I was out for dinner, a lot of people were also out for dinner on their own, and you kind of realise that nobody actually gives a fuck what you're doing, to be honest. Putting it lightly. My last dinner in Lisbon. My favourite part of my trip was an art class that I took on my own, and I was the only person in the room. I went twice because I love it so much. It was a tile making class. Maybe I'll show you them. I'm so proud of them. I want to do it forever. Oh my god, it's so fun. Anyway, I was the only person in the room that was on my own. It was a lot of families and couples, kind of. It was deemed as like a couple activity. I was just sat on my own, and everyone was kind of in their pairs and talking, and I made really good friends with the artist, the lady that was running it, that owns the studio, which was really sweet. She was so lovely, and she kept telling me, like, if you ever need anything while you're here, like, come to me. It was so cute, which also leads me on to the point that I think it's easier to make new connections with people when you're on your own, because if, I don't know, when I'm with people, I tend to be a bit more closed off. I think maybe that's kind of just natural. Like, when you're out with a group of friends, you're kind of a bit more closed off because you're with your people. You don't really have a need to talk to other people, but when you're on your own and it forces you to talk to people around you, it's so easy to talk to people. And I made so many friends with other solo travelers and people at my hostel, and even just conversations with the people at the restaurants, like the waitresses and stuff. It was just felt a lot more easier to start a conversation and hold a conversation. I felt that a lot of the time I did feel like I hadn't really just sat and spoken to someone for so long. So when I did come across these people, it was really nice to sit and talk. But anyway, I went to this art class and we were painting tiles, and yeah, I was just sat painting my tile on my own. Everyone else was in their groups, and it was fine. It was great. I fucking loved it. I went back. Just doing things on your own, kind of, it forces you to kind of not need validation from other people, I've found. I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone anymore, which is fucking awesome, because it just feels so much more freeing to just live and do things on your own and just be, bro. That's my advice. I'm also coming down with a cold, so I kind of sound kind of nasally, so I'm sorry. I'm going to drink my coffee because I've just been holding it for the past 12 minutes. Okay, so being forced to sit with yourself and sit with feelings of loneliness, because you're bound to feel lonely at some point. So getting to sit with the feelings of loneliness, it kind of lets you dissect it a bit more and kind of work out what it is that you're missing, whether it's like relationships, connections, home, purpose. I brought a journal with me. I recommend that. If you don't journal, classic, everyone tells you to do it, bring a journal. A lot of the time I just kind of sat, when I didn't know what to do with myself, or when I was in the restaurants eating on my own, I would get my journal out, because then at least it looked like I was doing something, so it wasn't so awkward. But yeah, it's really good to write down, obviously, how you're feeling solo traveling, since I think, especially since if you're not really talking with people a lot and you're kind of keeping everything inside, it's nice to have some sort of outlet. It's an emotional, eventful, busy time, and writing down how you're feeling might help you kind of process things more. And also, it's nice just to have it to look back on. I didn't actually journal as much as I'd liked to. My fucking pen ran out, and I am very fussy, and I have a specific pen that I have to write with, and it died. And I was absolutely devastated. And then I used a different pen, which I was like, fine, I need to journal, I'm going to use a different pen. So I used the only other pen that I brought with me that I don't like writing with, but I just used it because it was there. That shit died too. So maybe that was a sign that I shouldn't be journaling, but I think you should journal if you're going. I also, this is random, I got this tattoo in Lisbon. Isn't it cute? To also kind of commemorate, it's crusty as fuck. It's really itchy as well. Like the feelings that I learned, the lessons that I learned on the trip. It was a lot more than just like a fun experience to me. It was much more kind of deep than that. I think the main thing, this is videos like 15 minutes long now. But the main thing that I learned from the trip that I've brought forward with me is that I am more capable than I thought I was. Yeah, going through that airport and doing all those things that I was really scared of and that I couldn't ever imagine me doing, especially when I was 13 years old and couldn't leave the house. Like, knowing that I am capable, it's just, that was everything to me. That was my video on what I learned solo traveling, and it was not very good, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I also kind of want to film a haul of what I got in Lisbon, because I feel like what I got was pretty cool. Essentially, if you are thinking of going solo traveling, then I think just go for it, because it will teach you so much about yourself, and it definitely 100% will show you that you're more capable than you think you are. Do it scared. If you're scared of a flight, do it scared. You know, these feelings of fear are normal, but once you kind of accept them, embrace them, acknowledge them, it's worth it for the end result. So yeah, and you are more capable than you think you are. You really are. I mean it. Honestly, I would not have imagined that I would be jetting off to Lisbon for 2 weeks on my own. But here we are. I did it, and I'm back. I survived. I'm here to tell a tale, and you're here to watch the tale, so thanks for watching. Oh my god. Good luck on your solo traveling if you go. I recommend it. Bye. Oh my god.